Mario Party DS on first impression should come across as very appealing. After all, it was the first time the series could travel with you on the go in true 3D graphics. Let's begin with the story. In Mario Party DS, strange crystal pieces have been spotted falling from the sky. One lands near Mario, who picks it up, unaware of what it could be. The next morning, Bowser sends invitations to our familiar cast of characters to apologize for his wrongdoings. Of course, this turns out to be a trap, and Bowser has come up with a new plan. He then shrinks the cast, shooing them away in hopes of being uninterrupted in his own quest to locate the remaining pieces of the crystal that fell the night prior. The cast attempts to make their way to Bowser's castle again to stop him, whereas a few friends from the past spot them and ask for their assistance. This always involves a certain character ruling over a space of land that must be stopped. The goal is to collect enough power stars in order to be strong enough to conquer the boss. So instead of a party-based focus, this entry uses story to progress throughout the game, although there is still a superstar in the end, as the winner of the board, aka the character with the most stars after 10 rounds, is then sent to defeat the boss. Upon completing a board, the friend who requested you gives you a piece of the crystal.
Granddad!
Which you then take and continue in your pursuit to prevent Bowser from collecting them himself. At the end of the game, it turns out that Bowser wanted these crystals as together they turn into a Nintendo DS-esque console that plays a puzzle game. That's what all the ruckus was about, a simple puzzle game that Bowser wanted to play. And you get to play it too after the end credits. So let's move on to the game itself. You'll start the story as usual with one playable character and 3 CPU players. You can play with your friends in single cart download play, which is an outstanding accomplishment for a DS game. However, for the story mode, you'll exclusively be playing with computer opponents. At least this is how you'll be unlocking the final map of the game, which you'll want to do, otherwise you only get 4. Likely on your first turn, you'll come across a new sort of free power-up known as a hex. You'll obtain one by simply passing a space where they are located. These can be placed before rolling your die on any red or blue tile within a specific radius. They will activate once another player finishes their die roll on said tile, should that ever happen. These range from negative coins to negative stars, and even the other way around if you're lucky. These will either go to the player who set the hex or to the player that lands on the hex. There's also hidden blocks that contain the 2 goodies, but that's a returning feature from previous games. Also returning are shops where you can buy various items to use before a round, like with the hexes. These can be absolute game changers, from star pipes that immediately deploy you to the star location, to triple dice sets that give you 2 extra die to use for additional progression. Shopping is just fine for the player, but waiting for other CPU opponents is often long and annoying. While the computer players do mostly make logical choices, there are many other moments that will confuse the player. The AI usually doesn't consider circumstances. They'll end up going straight for the star even if it isn't in their convenience to do so, because they might not have enough coins for it. Dual spaces, by the way, are unlocked during the last 5 rounds, replacing the friend spaces that would allow a player to choose a friend in which would get 5 coins along with the player who landed on it. Duels can and will seriously affect the results, by the way. Take a look at Waluigi as he steals stars from Peach. Prior to this, he was in last, and now he's in first. Peach was in first, and now Peach is in last. I see nothing wrong with duels as a concept so long as the contenders are in fair play. Usually, it is not. But generally speaking, Mario Party has always been a game semi-based on chance, so perhaps one could look at it as part of the fun, but I cannot deny it does become frustrating in some instances, which is unpleasant. As you continue through the game, you'll find many unique ideas implemented here that I haven't seen in other Mario Party games, but I could be wrong. Most of the maps have a certain way in which to collect stars, like through progressively expensive music notes, and spaces where the stars are dependent on your number of coins. When you get close to finishing a board, you'll likely have a good number of coins to your name. If you don't have enough stars to win, perhaps you could use that triple dice set you just bought and run through multiple stars in one run. I actually managed to do this in one turn without the use of items, which I think might say something for the placement of these stars. Sometimes they'll spawn very close to you after collection, which is a bit unfair to the rest of the players. Now I know what you're thinking. Mario Party is probably most well known for its minigames. So how good are the minigames in Mario Party DS? They must be pretty good, considering it's all the back of the box really cares to mention. Well, most of them are actually quite good. There are a lot of them too, considering by the time I finished a full story run, there were still a decent number that I hadn't managed to unlock. A few are based on chance, but not too many. Genuinely, most are based on skill, though when it comes to the computer players, particularly on higher difficulties, some minigames are ridiculously difficult, if even achievable, like that cherry throwing minigame where the AI moves so fast, you'd swear you'd break your DS trying to move so quickly on its touchscreen. Speaking of which, a good number of games utilize the touchscreen, thankfully in better ways than most DS party games. I must say, of all of them, I certainly like the button mashing games the least. Like with the cherry throwing minigame, the AI is often far too fast to be humanly competitive. Microphone-based games are a bit annoying, but thankfully you're able to turn them off entirely. Never did I ever think any use of the Nintendo DS microphone was necessary. Who wants to blow into their console? I must say that I do appreciate the theming in a majority of these. Most are focused on characters being small, like riding on soap bars in the sink, running away from a mole, sliding down a stairs pole, the list goes on. Now you might be wondering, board games always have a slim but existent potential for a tie game. How does Mario Party DS handle ties? Well, it just puts you in first place and you continue onwards. Kinda funny that. I thought it'd be a great idea to have the tied players battle in a duel for first place. But once you do complete that board, you'll be awarded with little set pieces that can be investigated through the menu, which are nice to see. I think this was a neat addition to the game. It also contains a sound test with all the music and character sound effects. That was a great touch. So is Mario Party on the DS worth recommending? Well, I would say yes. The theme of tiny characters is certainly a great one, and the uniqueness of various elements from some levels is enough for the 5-board layouts to be very entertaining at times. Most Mario Party games have at least 6 boards, and Mario Party DS has just 5. 5 boards that are about the same size as those on console, but personally I've always felt that Mario Party boards were just a bit too small in general. I suppose that's a critique for the eyes of the beholder. I personally think one more map at the least would have made it the perfect size. After all, the traditional puzzle mode that must have taken some time to make could have been replaced with an extra board, and I don't think many would care. I can't deny that years ago I really enjoyed Mario Party DS. I mean, just look at this crazy score I managed to collect in my years of playing it. It was a magnificent way to spend a car trip, and back then it was a very solid portable Mario Party. It might even be the best dedicatedly portable board game video game experience yet, but the upcoming Super Mario Party release on the Nintendo Switch could potentially change this. Thanks for watching this FrameRater review, and my favorite Mario Party is the 6th entry for the Nintendo GameCube. Which one's your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video.